There have been a lot of big bass caught and released since last January here on the FLW Tour. And I'm proud to say that we have been right there in the back seat of the boat, experiencing almost every one of them. Our weigh-ins have been quite dramatic. The fishermen themselves, they're turning into superstars, and the purses have been growing to the point of rivaling the other major sports.
I got in the last minute, and the fish was still flopping in the floor when I stopped, and I got him out and put him in a live well.
Randy Howell hit pay dirt in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're finding that all of these professional bass fishermen are focused. They all have a game plan, and they can become quite emotional when that plan works.
Stay on, baby. Stay on, baby. Yes! Come on, boys. You know, I fished a lot of competitions and had success, but getting in the top 10 of a FLW, boy, that's hard. Booyah!
We are proud to announce this year's Walmart FLW Tour Angler of the Year, Danny Brower.
Well, Dan Moorhead expressed it so well. The FLW Top 10 is where you want to be. But doing well in the qualifying days, the first 2 days of a tournament, is a most difficult thing. And the man who did it best during the 1998 season, that man right there, Denny Brower, our Land of Lakes Angler of the Year. My goodness, Wheaties certainly thinks that the sport has arrived, and as we watch Denny here accepting the congratulations, let me remind you that we do have another little matter to take care of here today. That would be the Forest Wood Open with a $1 million purse, and it's straight ahead.
This is it, the Forest Wood Open, the richest tournament in all of bass fishing. I'm Tommy Sanders along with Jerry McInnes. And Jerry, I guess if you're going to win $200,000, you ought to have to go through some hardships. But I don't think anyone ordered up this raging Connecticut River. Unbelievable.
This is spectacular. We're at Bradley Falls. We're probably 25 miles from Hartford itself. And these fishermen have 75, 85 miles on the Connecticut River to actually compete in this week. However, you know, I've always said that Mother Nature plays about as big a part of bass tournaments as crankbaits do.
Yeah.
And boy, she pulled a dandy. We had record rains in New England over the past half a dozen days, and I think every tributary within a 500-mile radius is pouring into the Connecticut River 10 and 12 foot higher than normal.
Over the dam.
Over the dam. And of course, the water that these guys fishing will not all look like that, but it is good. Hey, you know, there was some talk of canceling it.
Unbelievable.
Not amongst you and I or these competitors, because we knew darn well there'll be some guys that figure it out just as sure as the world.
Can we go and we're untied here or what?
It won't go back in. The whole thing's fine.
Hey, Bill.
I think it'll be real pretty.
Bill Taylor, where are you?
Right here.
I'm ready, bud.
Well, there you've just seen the field of pros and co-anglers who are still with us. $40,000 will go to the winning co-angler today, and 5 pros will continue on for next week's finals. Now watch them close. These guys are the best in the world. The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always Walmart. By Evinrude Intruder 150 with fixed fuel injection. By Uniroyal, driving dependability home. And by Land O'Lakes. The good things in life never really change.
Something else that never really changes is the fact that bass love to chase artificial lures, so high water, low water, they're always good to play, and we can always have a contest. Randy Howell and Don Morrison are right in the middle of it.
Gosh. Doggone. There's another one. Get in it. Get in it. I got it. Thank you. Let's keep you from jumping off.
There's one.
Little buddy.
That's one.
They're in there, boy. I had one, and he come off. A little keeper.
We're going to see a lot of fish today, about that size, but a few surprises for you. Some good fish, too, and a lot of smallmouth.
I had a real slow practice. Didn't even catch any fish in practice. And then stopped here in one of my practice days twice. And I caught stripers and perch in here and had a lot of bait fish. So I didn't really have nothing to go to, and I started here the first morning. Right as I was getting ready to leave, they come up and busted shad, and they're smallmouth. So I caught a 3-pounder and decided to just go ahead and stay. And there you go. You'll have to bleed that out now. There you go. I'm gonna quit looking at the camera while I'm throwing this little bitty bait. I'll start that over again in a minute. But as I was saying before, I started here the first morning of the tournament and fished it for about 15 minutes, didn't get a bite. So I was getting ready to leave, and about a 3-pound smallmouth chased a little perch against the wall there. I cast over there and caught him. Then I thought, well, maybe you got to sit here and wait him out. So I kind of waited a while, and striper.
Right.
That's what I caught here in practice, was stripers, and I knew the bait fish were here, so the smallmouth would have to come around. I just didn't realize it was this many of them here. So it's probably better off. It's one of the few times that you kind of get lucky and have a bad practice and still have a good tournament, so. There he is. Oh, man, he come off. Doggone. You see that?
I seen him bend.
He took it right off the top of the water. The instant I turned the handle, in the very back there's a big grate up back there. And the instant I turned the handle and it popped off of that, it's a grate keeping the logs out of that pipe. He jumped on it. He didn't get it good, though, apparently.
It's a Lucky Strike French fry, pumpkin color. The only one I use, really. Sure been good to me.
It looks like Randy Howell has found himself a good place. Randall Hudson may still be looking.
And what out there is pumpkin colored, Tommy?
Pumpkin color?
Actually, crawfish, and I guess there's a lot of things in the water that are kind of pumpkin colored. You know, one thing I want to point out, Randy Howell was talking about finding the stripers, and normally when you find stripers, you have found some bait fish, because stripers just follow bait fish wherever they go. And when you find bait fish, then you are going to find some smallmouth and largemouth around them too. So, you know, Randy's pretty sharp. He realized that it wasn't just luck that he found that little covert where the bait were.
I've got a van right up yonder. She's got about 20
Now Randall's fishing a little bit different, boy. He is really after the smallmouth. I guess we can truly say that he is finesse fishing here, can't we?
Yeah. Here's his partner, Frank Free from Buford, Georgia, scoring here real quick. I think that one's going to keep.
Believe so. And these guys are obviously looking for little places off the river, around some structure. We saw Randy around the culvert. We got Randall around a bridge.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna make
I think anytime you get off the main river, you're going to start getting into water color that's a little bit better. Although the river isn't bad color, but it's just pretty high and awful swift. But when you get in these little cuts, you are going to find good water conditions, and then you'll find the structure. And speaking of structure,
Boy, now that's a structure right there. Of course, this is the part of the country that was industrialized first back in the 17 and 1800s, and lots of old factories here, lots of drain pipes for the water intakes for the old factories. So you talk about structure, they've got it aplenty on the Connecticut River.
Yeah, absolutely. Just look around at the piers and the pipes and the things that are going into the water that are perfect for, boy, perfect smallmouth.
Now just remember, we're only following 5 boats today, so we only know half of what's going on out there. Maybe that's a good thing. At any rate, though, we are going to leave Tommy Biffle's boat right here. It's kind of a picturesque place because we have Randy Howell on the phone right now.
Randy, I can remember the time, it seemed like not very long ago, when you were tickled to death to make it in the top 10, and now here you are with a good shot for the
big one.
The big one, man.
Yeah, I'm real excited. I've really enjoyed myself on the FLW tour this year, and I've been real blessed. The Lord's really blessed me to catch the fish I have, and It's my third top 10 out of 6 this year, and I'd really like to make it to the top 5 because man, after you win one like I did at Wheeler, it's kind of a letdown if you do anything other than that.
Well, tell us how that win has changed your situation, if at all it has changed your situation.
Oh, man, it changed my situation better than you'd ever imagine. Well, I've been fishing professionally for 5 years and 24 years old, and I had accumulated a lot of debt, which most fishermen do, and I was able to pay off all that debt, and we even had money to be able to buy a house in Alabama. We'll be moving to Alabama in about 3 weeks to be more centrally located for these tournaments.
So really looking to hit a truly big lick here. And, well, Don, can you sense the enthusiasm that this guy has for the sport of fishing?
Oh, yeah. It's great. You know, it's been a great day out here.
I got to tell you, I don't have a keeper fish. I've caught 3, but I'm so thrilled with this FLW, and it lets people like me come out here and fish, and I'm just thankful to have the experience of fishing with a super guy like Randy.
Well, has he actually been behaving himself today?
He's threatened me a few times.
This 1 3-pounder lives right here on this corner, and he's been there every day. He's driven me crazy. I've seen him come out of the water probably 20 times in 2 days, completely on top, just swimming behind the bait fish, chomping them. He's bit at my bait 3 different times, and none of the 3 times did he eat it. He just mouthed it. He's real smart. He kind of rules that corner there. He keeps everything else away from there. Maybe before the day's over with, I can get him.
Water in here now than there was yesterday.
Did it come up good?
Yep.
Basil Bacon and Keith Burden found himself some grass and other vegetation to fish here real quick.
Yeah, we've got 2 or 3 really unique styles of fishing, you know. And as Basil said right there, he's throwing a topwater bait here to begin with, but he's in the grass. He's not fishing for smallmouth. He's absolutely fishing for largemouth bass.
There's underwater grass of all kinds everywhere in here. Anywhere and everywhere. All different kinds of grass. There's one. That one?
Yep.
All right. What'd you do, lose him?
Sure did.
Man.
Sure did. Can't afford to do too much of that here.
There he is.
Randall Hudson caught one fish at the old spot, and he's already moved to a new place. And this looks like one of those spots that doesn't see that much water on a regular basis. Newly flooded ground right here.
Yeah, and he's not very far from that first place. They're up around the infield, and both of them are very good smallmouth bass places, as you can see. And
boy, that's a good one.
Randall is on his way, still fishing that little French fry, still finesse fishing. He's got a perfect place, though. There's a little creek coming in behind him, right behind him, actually. He's sitting in the mouth of the creek. We'll probably get a little better view somewhere along the line here and be able to tell that 2 fish for Randall.
Yeah. So now is he just right around the corner from the open water, the river running? So those fish are hanging right behind that little piece of land there and sliding out in there and grabbing food then.
The nose of his boat.
And there we go. Somebody else is grabbing food too.
Whose family is that?
I hope they don't have too many real big smallmouth in there. Those guys are in trouble.
Right. Oh, there's a good. But the nose of his boat is pointed right towards the river. On his right-hand side is that little creek I'm telling you about. And on the left-hand side is a launching ramp. Well, that's a good fish there, Tommy.
That's number 3. Randall Hudson is...
he's well on his way.
Boy, he has struck quickly here and is on his way to a limit.
Well, he's done well in this little place all week long. We've seen him there before, so we got a little bit of an idea of what's going on. But he is in a place where a lot of smallmouth bass can come and go and move around and replenish the spot every day.
Scare you? What about me? Lordy, thank you.
Wow. Nice job.
Thank you. Woo. Yeah. He's very important fish. Big fish. Now, don't you jump in the water.
He'll be more than 2.5.
Nah, he about 2.5, 2 3/4.
Boy, now what you shaking for?
$200,000, that's what for.
Good. What's your name?
Randall Hudson.
Hudson?
Hudson H.
Like this down. Gotta give a check on it. Is the weigh-in still at Walmart?
Yeah.
They didn't move it then, huh? No,
I hope you got all that. I may never do that again on camera.
Of course, we got all of that, Randall. Cameraman could be shipped off to Siberia if you missed that deal. Now, let's catch up with Jim Moyna right now. Jim is still traveling, believe it or not, downstream. He's got an hour-and-a-half run to make today.
Well, right now we're just headed on our way down the river here. We've got about another 40 minutes to go. We're making a long run, but it's definitely been worthwhile. So I'm just kind of taking in the scenery as we're going down the river. We just came through a big fog bank, which was kind of a surprise. We haven't had to deal with that yet. Been dodging a few logs here and there. The river's up really high. It's kind of flooding out and a lot of debris in the water. You got to be really careful. Just trying to calm myself down. I'm real tense this morning. Just trying to just trying to tell myself to be calm and relax, because that's what a guy needs to do.
I'll calm him down after I catch my first fish.
Yeah, that'll calm me down all right.
I don't know if that's exactly the kind of calming down he wanted from Richard Fuller in the front of the boat there. Right now, we're going to move back closer to Hartford. Tommy Biffle here is really getting down to business with that spinnerbait.
Fishing the factory. He's on the factory pattern, Tommy.
Yeah, the old textile factory pattern.
That's right. You know, this little area where he's fishing, you know, we was talking about Randall Hudson's spot being very unique. I think this is a real unique place, too. There are these concrete piers, and we've seen them a time or two already. These concrete piers and the little
good start, anyways.
The little eddies that the piers are creating. You know, there's a lot of current coming down that river, and it's really great when something blocks off that current. And now you've got a little eddy and a place for bait to slip in and kind of hide. And so then you know what happens after that.
Tommy Biffle from Wagner, Oklahoma. It seems like, you know, the Oklahoma guys are the spinnerbait fishermen, the Florida and Arkansas guys are the flippers, and we got the crankbait fishermen from North Carolina.
That's right.
It all breaks down on regional lines.
That's right.
Here.
Of course, I tell you what, Tommy, this Tommy, not you, this Tommy is one heck of a flipper, too. Hey,
there we go.
Where'd that come from?
Pretty good fisherman in the back of the boat there. That is Brad Klein from Shakopee, Minnesota.
Thought it was on a weed?
Yeah, that first time.
What'd he do, just bite it right out there?
Yep.
Kind of deep?
Right out from that little piling.
Huh?
Right out from that piling. He inhaled that.
He ate it, didn't he?
Big time.
Brad Klein got a pretty thorough interrogation there. These guys in the front of the boat don't want to miss out on any precious information.
That went right into the Tommy Biffle computer.
It sure did. That is on the hard drive right now.
Holler if you want Finesse.
Back now to Jim Moyna. Just about to wrap up that run. It's time, to start fishing.
I'm going to start right up in here today.
Suits me.
This is where I started the first day, and I caught one.
I did too.
Back on the Conneticut River, the $1 million Forest Wood Open, richest tournament in all of bass fishing. Now, this is day number 3 of our tournament. Yesterday, wrapped up our regular season of qualifying days, and the winner of the Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year, which is decided by your qualifying day performances, was none other than Denny Brower. We'll see his face on the front of the Wheaties box now as a result. Now we're going back to Randy Howell. He's still at that little culvert, I think, Jerry, and he thought he had a good place, but I don't think he's caught many fish.
There he is. Come on out of there. Yeah. I got it. Yeah, as long as that net's under him. That was pretty neat. I let that jig fall down over that bar. Kept hopping it up and down, and he got it. Man, Thank the Lord that string line didn't break. It frayed it up. Man, watch this. Little small keeper.
Well, Small is right. He's going to have to do a little bit better, and they're going to have to upgrade his size if he wants to do some good and get into that final 5 at the weigh-in today.
You know, I'm thinking that that the boater needs about 10 pounds, and I bet you the non-boater needs about 10 pounds as well. And of course,
right, to win the first prize, to win the 40 grand.
Moyna is well on his way towards 10 pounds.
Right, where to go?
Isn't it something? These guys
2-pounder.
fishing upriver or fishing for smallmouth bass in their little the culverts and the piers and so on, and you get downriver, way downriver where Moyna is, it's a completely different thing. More flat, grassy areas, and of course, as most fishermen, bass fishermen know, the largemouth love these places. The smallmouth love those places upstream.
The pressure's off. You're doing good.
The pressure is not off.
No, the pressure's off.
Oh, no.
One at a time.
No.
Pressure's off. Pressure's off.
I still feel it, believe me.
You ain't got no sweat. You got it made.
Our third tournament of the season this year was held on a big, fast Tennessee River there at Huntsville, Alabama, Wheeler Lake, and Basil Bacon did really, really well.
Right in the thick of it, wasn't he?
And here we are on a big, fast, rain-swollen river once again. And Basil, you've done it again. You got to be really proud of what you've learned about big rivers this year.
Well, seems like we've had a pretty good dose of them this year.
Yes, we have indeed. It's going a little slow this morning, though.
Yeah, it's been real tough on me. I don't know what's happened. Well, I do, too. The fish quit biting or they left, one of the two.
And you've actually had a little topwater action going, haven't you?
Yeah, before the tournament started, I was catching a lot of them on topwater, but that really died on me. And everything I've been catching has been what I normally do, and that's flip.
No, I was here and fished and practiced and had some stuff going real good, and I had to run home for a couple of days.
And when I came back, well, I came back to a different world. I mean, everything that I had found was gone. So I had to start all over, and I just picked me a spot that I knew had fish on it and hit it and went to it and started trying to figure them out and got lucky. I'm just blessed to be here, if you'll know the truth.
Keith Burton, fish or no fish, you're getting a lesson from one of the greatest flippers in the world. That's got to be worth something.
Yeah, it's real nice to be flipping behind somebody that really knows what they're doing with it. And I'm from Florida, so I do a lot of flipping myself. But it's been an experience here.
Keith, what do you call your home lake in Florida?
My home lake in Florida? Well, the closest one to my house is probably Lake Tarpon. But as far as, say, my favorite lake in Florida, it's got to be Okeechobee.
Keith, Burton, Basil Bacon out there, no success as yet, but there's still a lot of time left. I know a lot of our anglers yesterday, Jerry, on day number 2 of the tournament, caught, filled out limits from 1 o'clock on.
Absolutely, and you know, it was a tough break on Basil, having to break from the tournament here and go back home for a few days, but he had some personal things that he had to take care of, and we certainly admire him for being where he's at today. He's one of my all-time favorites, Tommy, too.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Enjoy. By Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions. By Fujifilm, you can see the future from here. And by Citgo, when it counts.
Right here, this is new to me. This smallmouth fishing, I've never fished for smallmouth.
You already caught one.
Yeah. I've caught more since I came here than I ever caught in my life. Yeah. We don't have that many smallmouth around Georgia where we are. We got the spotted bass, but we don't have a smallmouth.
It sounds like Frank Free has been converted into a smallmouth enthusiast, at least for today. There's another.
Oh, that hurts.
Ooh, got to catch those. You don't get that many chances.
And these fish need to be 14 inches long to make that ride back to the weigh-in, sure, Tommy. 14 inches, half the fish being caught, I guess, are smallmouth bass.
It's my son. It's his, and he's a year old, and he left it
Well, he didn't leave it. I guess I left it in the boat. He was in the boat crawling around in my garage, and it just got left in there, and had a couple good tournaments ever since it's been in my boat. So I thought that's a nice reminder of.
You might use it and calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I'm not above anything at this point.
Please bite fish. Now, this is getting ridiculous. Just come on and bite the bait. Get in the boat. Take a ride with us. We'll brag on you. We'll talk about you. We'll say great, wonderful, nice things about you. We'll hold you up, show you off in front of the crowd. You'll be a celebrity. Man, these are the stubbornest fish I ever seen. Please come in here, fish. Wait. Nice fish. Oh, yeah, that's one I need. Okay, here you come. Here you come. Thank you, partner. Whew. Nice one. Oh, I'll let him take it a second. Wow. Look at that one. Boy, I tell you what. David, I feel better already. I don't look no better, but I feel better. I tell you what, that is a dandy way to start the day. Oh, man.
Nice going.
Now, I only brought 6 packs of these today with us because we used up 3 packs yesterday. So anytime you want them, you just let me know. My partner, I thought he'd just use them all up for us over here. I said, wait a minute, partner, I ain't got but 3 packs. You slip right in there, baby. Oh, you little 3-pounder, you are lovely. Now, do I want to give him a brand new one, or do I want to stay with this one that knows what to do? I believe I'll stay with this one a little longer. I don't know, a brand new one. They might think more, what do you think? Nah, let's try this one more time. You know, every now and then you get a bad one, and what they'll do, they grab that fish by the jaw and they slap him on both sides, and you spit it out before you can catch him. And if you lose about 3 fish like that, what you need to do is throw that bait down and stomp on it. It's a bad bait. This one looks like it's doing pretty good. If I quit shaking long enough, I get the hook back. Oh, moly.
Wow. Where was he sitting?
Where was he sitting?
Yeah. Was he in the shade
He was out about 8 foot off that bush, like they've been being for me. You've been fishing tight. I've been fishing out a little bit. But you do what you want to do, I'm riding. You do, I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm thrilled. I got a fish. Boy.
You never have to wonder what T.R. Fuller's thinking. He lets us know what's going on in his brain on fishing day.
But Tommy, I'm still, let's see, did he put on a new bait or didn't he put on a new bait?
Well, we heard a pretty good argument for not and a pretty good argument for putting on a new bait. I still don't know what you did.
Look at Randall Hudson putting it on.
I tell you, he's putting it on the smallmouth here on this little point. What a place.
And what a crowd we've got behind him.
For the next 30 or 40 minutes, will you?
I think they've set up bleachers.
What do you get paid today? Am I paid to stay?
You know, I guess we need to mic all these people behind us where we can kind of tell exactly what they're saying.
Yeah, you know, there's some good information being exchanged here. Look at that. Another nice one. 4th fish for Randall Hudson. 1 more to a limit. Looking great today. Now, is this the place where, under normal conditions, Jerry, these guys would not be able to bring their boats? You've heard about tournaments in the past where they had to get jet boats and things to get up here. This is one of those places, isn't it?
Well, again, right out there in front is the river, and normally where that boat's sitting there would be nothing. He would be on dry land under a normal. That post sticking up right there is where you normally
that's where you park, isn't it?
Yeah, that's they're marking the launching ramp.
Yeah, he's a keeper. Shoot, man, you gotta holler at me.
If he goes to work me over real good, I'll holler at you.
Okay.
Bite one time from a partner. He's getting a little nervous. He got one in the boat. He ought to be calm as a cucumber.
I'll be nervous till I got about 20 pounds in the boat.
Oh, my gosh, you're going to be nervous all day. You know, you had about 15 the other day. I'd be happy with 15. That's all you're going to need. You ain't going to need that to get to top 5 tomorrow. But go ahead and get 15 BR, I don't mind. I'd like to look at them.
Good fish.
I guess it's Jim Moyna's turn. He's got his fish on now. I was thinking about what you said, Jerry. This place does downstream here. It looks like it could be a southern bass fishing lake.
Right. Look
a largemouth lake, like
water,
Seminole. Yeah.
The watercolor is even different. It's got a little more that black, clear water, and upstream it's a little browner. So definitely two different styles of fishing. Happy Jim Moyna and Happy T.R. Fuller.
If you want to show him.
Now, would you hurry up and catch one?
Okay.
So it'll be my turn again? Seem to be taking turns here, but I'm a little slow on my turn. Where are they at?
Just south of Haddam, which is about halfway from Hartford down to Long Island Sound, is a place called the Salmon River. That's where we're finding Tommy Biffle and his non-boater partner, Brad Klein. And Tommy, yesterday you told me, you said you thought about it a little bit and you decided this would be a good tournament to win.
Yeah, Tommy, it would really be nice to win this tournament, but, you know, the fish are going to have to cooperate a little bit better than they are right now.
Were you pulling my leg when you said you were seeing some of those fish yesterday?
No, I just caught one off the bed a while ago.
Is that right? Wow.
Tommy, have you ever seen such a change in conditions during a tournament as we have had here?
Yeah, I've seen it change a lot over the years, but, you know, I don't know how far it's come up. It's probably come up 15 or 20 feet. And, I was back there fishing in an area a while ago, and my camera boat man said it was dry a couple of weeks ago.
Let me ask you this. How are you fishing right now, and how would you have been fishing if conditions were normal?
Well, if they were normal, I had a real good practice. I was getting a lot of bites. I was flipping my silver crawdad and really just flipping what cover that was in the water. There wasn't very much cover, very many targets, and I was getting more bites that way. And now the water's come up, and the fish, I think, are real far back in it. You can't hardly get back in there. There's a lot of grass, like this grass right here, to flip, and a lot of bushes. And the fish seem to be more so in the bushes or under the thick, heavy cover when you can catch one. But yesterday I found a little place and I could get back in there. And I got back in there and I saw a 3-pounder, a 2-pounder, a 3 and a 4. And they were all just cruising around, and a couple of them were on the bed.
Well, then I guess what you're saying is these fish can adapt and can change with the conditions pretty darn fast, can't they?
Oh, yeah. Fish are probably loving this high water. They're getting back there in the shade and the bushes and eating all the nutrients and the worms that's coming up, and they're probably loving it.
There he is. I think he's a little short, don't you?
No, he'll keep.
You think he will? I may get to go in the water. Oh, yeah, he's 13 1/4. Hallelujah. Yeah. Number 5.
Well, this morning, Randall Hudson and Frank Free decided to just go ahead and fight the current and get it over with. They went upstream from Hartford there, up near a place called Enfield. And, Randall, is it a lot easier today without so many guys out on the water battling for so many small places where you can find the fish?
Sure is. Takes a lot of pressure off. You know you can go fish your spots and not have to battle somebody for them.
Describe the area where you've caught most of the fish.
It's little creeks that runs into the main river.
How much area do you actually have there to fish?
Very little. It's just little bitty spots. I've got 2 major places, and one of them's got, 100 yards in it maybe. And the one I'm at right now, we're just sitting at one spot. We ain't even moving.
Tell us a little bit about that bait you're using there. Maybe the first time we've seen one of those in action out here on the tour.
It's a Lucky Strike French fry. It's got a sin. It's called the Enforcer Series, and it's got a special sin in it, and I think that helps. I'm a believer in it anyway. It's a pumpkin green color. It's just kind of a do-nothing worm. It don't have no tail or nothing on it. I don't know why they eat it, but they sure do.
You know, Randall, just a little bit ago, I was down at one of the boat launches, and I never saw the like of earthworms in shallow water. You think this has anything at all to do with it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it'll put the fish right up on that grass looking for them. But I think the main thing right now is the current's so strong out there. Some of these fish are trying to get out of that hard current, and they're moving into these little eddy areas.
Well, Frank Free, tell us about your river fishing experience.
My river experience in something like this is next to none. Yes.
So you didn't expect to be where you are today, then?
No. I was, I've never had to fish in this high water, moving water like this. We don't have floods in Georgia to this extent that this river's going. It's a real experience for me. I've learned a lot from the guys that I've fished with for this past week. We fished tidal water beginning of the week. Now we're fishing floods. Great experience to learn how to adjust to these different types. Today is my first day to really get into some smallmouth fishing. We don't have smallmouth in Georgia. But that's the reason I was so excited to draw Randall to know that he was smallmouth fishing.
Those guys feel pretty good, don't they?
Yes, sure do. And I got a good teacher today with me too, but I'm not learning too fast.
Well, you know, you still got some time to learn some more good tips. That's Frank Free and Randall Hudson out there smallmouth fishing. It sounds like they found a little peaceful spot there amid all that roaring water.
Yeah, and you know, the thing that might surprise a lot of people, I don't think it surprises us as much, is the fact that these guys, under these conditions, are finding places to fish. It's not a matter of you know, well, man, we won't catch any fish. The conditions got too bad. So they just have to figure it out. And as always, the top guys will come across some fish and how to catch them.
There he is.
He ain't too, but he's close.
Did you get him right there?
Yeah,
that's
right there in that corner.
That's
right there under that water stuff, really.
That's what's been busted out of him.
You think it is?
Yeah, no it ain't.
Randall Hudson looking good for the final five with his limit there. His partner, Frank Free, still got a shot at the co-angler title as well. Richard Fuller there, he's looking good for the co-angler title too. But Jim Moyna in the front of that boat, he's got some work to do, and he looks like he's doing it.
He's on the boat.
Careful. Oh.
Easy. You got him now?
Got him.
I got it.
Woohoo!
All right, two more. Catching fish out of turn, though. I want you to know that. Told you, Basil, came by too early. Not to worry about it. See, you've been worried over nothing. Just calm down, one at a time. Good to see you still get excited, though, once in a while.
Gosh, I can't believe I can even rig this worm right now.
Back out to the Connecticut River now. That's Basil Bacon from Springfield, Missouri. Keith Burton from St. Petersburg, Florida. Both these guys having a tough day, but you got to remember they beat 140 other anglers in their respective divisions to get to this point.
Didn't think he was ever going to take it. I give up on him. And he finally took it. Saw that fish. Ow! I just stuck a hook in my thing or two.
Fish will work. Good goal.
How about that? Boy, I got a good one in my finger there. That fish flipped that thing up on top of a little limb with some leaves on it.
Uh-huh.
And I saw the leaves move. I knew there was fish underneath him. And I finally shook it off there, and it fell. He didn't take it. I thought, well, that's the way it's going to be. Finally give up on him, and all of a sudden, started moving off.
Partner, just throw right on in that current, let it swing you right on around. Don't worry about me. Throw it out there in that current, let her swing around. We can stair-step that thing.
Well, relaxed now, Randall Hudson, and who wouldn't be with a good limit like that? Now he's trying to help his amateur partner there, Frank Free, make his stringer look a little bit better. Boy, it's a big day for Frank Free. The possibility of winning $40,000 from the back of the boat, that's unheard of.
Damn. Oh, come on, Randall.
Oh, God. What was that? Hold on.
This is
was he trying
this
to...
is knock your fish off for the man. Attaboy, Randall.
Man, oh, man.
Obviously, he was trying his...
I almost goofed up, man.
Well, I'd say so. He tried to gig it with a net. That doesn't work too good.
Oh, man. Smallmouth can be pretty tough to corral. He is sometimes a lot more tougher than largemouth seems like. Boy, that fish was just all over the place, and Frank needed that so bad. Show him to
One more shot of that, and that's a nice smallmouth. Boy, that'll help his cause a great deal.
In the gallery, the Randall Hudson gallery is liking it an awful lot.
I wonder if we could get the popcorn concession over there.
That's 3, right?
4. 4.
Fish! Net, net, net! Yeah, that's where they are. They're up in the trees. Oh. Yes! Yes! They've just turned on the last 10 minutes.
I knew you'd do it.
Talk to him. You can talk while you fish.
There you go, Richard Fuller with the last gig of the day, getting it in on Jim Moyne. It's so hard to get him excited, but we'll do what we can. Of course, the Conneticut River today, under these high water conditions, has been most challenging, but in the end, as we expected, our anglers, well, some of them anyway, have figured it out. And real soon here, we're going to find out which ones figured it out the best. That sight right there tells us what we need to know. It is now weigh-in time.
And Frank, fortunately for you, you don't have to stay up here that long. There's only one man to go.
That's the tough man coming up. That's the one I've been dreading all day long.
You've been dreading the guy in the front all day long. He has caught fish. He caught the largest stringer of the event yesterday, either for the boaters or non-boaters.
He is tough every tournament you go against him.
Again, he weighed in.
Well, that last fish we saw Frank Free catch was good enough to beat 8 of the other anglers, but our old buddy T.R. Fuller, he's yet to be heard from. Watch this.
Fuller from Auburn, Alabama. T.R., what a great 2 days you've had. Over 20 pounds from the back of the boat. Yesterday, a 14-pound stringer. Well, they don't have to do as good as they did yesterday. 6 pounds, 12 ounces will win $40,000. Step over here, Frank. Let's get really close here. Step right up here, TR. Let's see what we've got in the bag. 6 pounds, 12 ounces. We'll make, no, stay right up here. We want to see everything. Stay right up here. We want to watch it all. We don't miss anything. We are ready. Bring the first one. Yes, I am. Bring it out there. Wow. There is fish number 1, and that is quite a fish. Wow, 3 pounds, 12 ounces in that one fish. Pull out another one.
Right.
We have a champion, Frank Free. 3 pounds, 12 ounces, 312 for T.R. Fuller. Good job, T.R. Step around here, Frank. Wow, what a deal. Our champion. $40,000 and being declared the champion of the Forestwood Open. How's it feel?
Feels wonderful. Feels wonderful. I just can't wait to call my wife.
All right, one other thing we're going to do, we're going to have a little photo opportunity here. The only thing better than being at the Forest Wood Open, standing right here, than being at the Forest Wood Open and winning and getting a check for $40,000 is to have the winner's trophy presented by Forest Wood himself. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Ranger Boats, Forrest L. Wood. Forrest?
It's obvious that fishing is here to stay. It's grown a lot, and it's become respectable. And fishing is not only good for the people that do it, it's good for America. I'm glad I've got to be a part of it. Congratulations to you, sir.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks. By Everstart, the name says it all. By Spider Wire Super Mono, the meanest monofilament ever made. And by American Camper, the leader in family camping fun.
You want to tie this?
The Fuji flashback today is not Randall Hudson tying on the lure. It's the bird that attacked him as he was doing it.
Is that what he said?
Well, of course, Randall will be with us again next week. He caught 12 pounds, 9 ounces of smallmouth today, and he'll shoot it out with 4 other tough anglers.
For $200,000.
My name is Terry Bolton. I'm 28 years old, and I'm from Paducah, Kentucky. And I'm the 5th place boater, and I'm fishing for $200,000.
I'm fishing for $200,000 tomorrow. My name's Jerry Williams, and I'm from Conway, Arkansas, and I'm 51 years old.
I'm Mike McClellan from Fayetteville, Arkansas. I'm 30 years old, and I'm fishing for $200,000.
My name's Jim Moyna from Hopkins, Minnesota, 33 years old, and I'm last year's Forest Wood Open champion, so I'm here to defend.
Well, you'll be here for the finals next week, won't you? I tell you what, don't take any chances. Mark that day on your calendar. That way you won't miss it.